Hello, it's Emma Jo here from Lavinia Stamps, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made this rather fun tag. It's got Pris, the new fairy, and she's great because she's got 2 thumbs up when she's not on her swing. Okay, so let's pop her on a bookshelf and have some fun. So the first thing we're going to do is get our Series 9 stencil brush, and I'm going to go straight in with Elements Ink Sundance. There we go. Now let's find our brown stencil brush. So I'm using Elements Ink Truffle. And I'm just going to go along the outside edges with it. If you take the pressure off and just tickle the paper, you get this lovely gentle edge. It's fabulous. We'll come back to that a bit later, but it's certainly a good start. Right, we're going to stamp the bookshelves. So I'm going to take this from Hobbit's Door Accessories. It is a versatile little set. I'm using the longest one there. So I'm inking that up with Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves. And I'm going to start off with my first bookshelf. Luckily, this stamp goes right the way across. So there we go, that's our first bookshelf. Might be slightly wonky donkey, but I'm all right with that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to more or less work out, using my big books, where I want the next shelf to go, and I think it's about here. So I'm going to ink up my next shelf, and I'm going to quickly move that out the way and pop that down so that it should be just above the book. Okay, right, we need to do another shelf, and that is going to be for our little books. So I'm going to put those on the shelf, and then I want it to sit just about there. So where was it? Just about there. There we go. Super. Now what I'm loving about this collection is there are some fabulous little scrolls. I don't know if you've seen them. And we're going to take the medium one and again ink it up in Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves. And we're going to use this twice, but first of all we're going underneath the bottom shelf. Try and get it as close to that shelf as you can. It's like a wrought iron French bookshelf. There we go. Doesn't that look fab? And then we'll do the same at the very top of the tag. Okay. Happy days. Now I think it's time to put the books on the shelf. So again, I'm going to do all of my stamping apart from Pris in Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the largest book I've got, making sure it has Lavinia stamps at the top so that you can read what's on the spine of it. Ink it up in Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves and pop it as close to the edge . There we go, one book. Then the next one's the Apothecary. Next we're going to find the set of books that has Apothecary in it. Ink that up. And then we want the book that has LS all over it. Now I wonder what LS could stand for. Now you might be forgiven for thinking, oh, I've got space. What am I going to do? Tell you what we're going to do. You're going to ink up that stamp again and just stamp it next to it. Doesn't matter that there's only a little diddy bit of it. It just makes it look real. So we'll go with that. Okay. Now I've deliberately left this space here because I want Pris to sit there. So I'm going to pop Pris in position. Versafine Clair Nocturne for Pris. Ink her up. And let's pop her so that she sits on the shelf. There's plenty of space for her to sit there. There we go. One happy fairy. So I'm going to go back to adding some books now. Now, I feel we need to colour these books in and the shelves. Mondeluz watercolour pencils are great for this. And we're just going to give that shelf a little bit of a colouring in. And for Pris's shelf, I'm just going to take it a little bit further back so that it looks like she's perfectly seated on a shelf and not dangling on the edge. So I'm just going to colour those shelves in. If you want to add a little touch of yellow to them in the centre, just to liven it up a bit. There we go. Do love Mondeluz watercolour pencils. They are so good at blending. So we are looking for pink, yellow, orange, a sort of pea green, a light blue, and I'm thinking we might even go for a bit of a purple, and maybe even a brown. And we're just going to give a touch of colour to these books so that they're not totally brown. So we're going to start off with pink and red. Oh, that's what I missed. We need a red. Pink and red. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of pink down there. Then we want, moving on, we're going to a totally pink book with maybe a touch of orange. What do you think? Okay, so that's given us some quite nice colouring in. And what we're going to do is add with some extra depth to it with our Kuretake Clean Colour Real Brush pens. Wonderful. Right, now we need our yellow, pink and blue pencils. And we're going to add some wonderful orbs just around Pris and going up into the space above. And also right down at the bottom beneath the scroll. Right, so we're going to add a little touch. We don't want it to be too obvious, so we're just going to add touches of highlights. There we go. We're going to put some lovely accents of gold now. I'm using number 903 yellow gold from the Starry set of Gansai Tambi watercolours. They are delicious. Don't eat them. They are wonderful for just adding that little touch where you think gold would go. Just adds a touch of magic, doesn't it? I'm going to add just some little touches to the scrolls here. And we need to do one last bit of stamping, and that is the phrase "every dream begins with a wish." And we're going to pop it just underneath this wonderful bookshelf. Try and get it as level as you can. And so that it all fits on the page. And that was in Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves. Okay, get your white Posca pen and just add a couple of little white dots. And we're going to take our Series 3 stencil brush, grab that Truffle again, Elements Ink Truffle, and darken up the very edge of this tag. Okay. I want a little touch of glitz and glam, so we're going to put a little bit of, now this is Stickles and it's called Sunset. I'm just going to make sure I've got it doing what I want it to do and add some accents of it to my tag. And there we go. There we have it. One fully finished tag where every dream begins with a wish on a bookshelf. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along and joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this tag was made, and maybe it might inspire you to have a go too. It's great fun. Anyway, if you want to leave a comment or ask a question, questions are great. Pop them in the post below and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But in the meantime, my friends, you have fun and I will see you again soon. You take care. Bye.